So around the age of 14 to 15, I started to fall in love with the idea of self-improvement. I fell in love with listening to interviews, reading books, gathering as much knowledge as possible towards making the quality of my life better. In essence, I was truly captivated by how other people viewed the world, the same world that we have all come to grow and to become accustomed to. It amazed me to see how each one of us experienced this world in a completely different way. This idea completely captivated me and changed my world in a way nothing else had. I became addicted to studying high-class performers, their thought patterns, their behavior, their varying approaches to similar situations. This carried on throughout high school, and I began to apply what I found to my own life. Soon I was learning much more through my curiosity outside the classroom than where I spent majority of my time, a classroom. Naturally, my curiosity followed me as my interests emerged. Filmmaking and storytelling had been a very innate art for me. I fell in love with creating films and began to embody the artist inside me. Soon I was studying the likes of artists I very much look up to and admired. The most fascinating part of creating art, in my opinion, is how different artists approach the creative process in different ways. As most would agree, the most difficult part about creating something of substance is coming up with a good idea and making those good ideas come to life. In its truest form, that is art itself. The repetition and consistency of those two steps is what makes you an artist. If a project is assigned to me at school, I usually find a way to put it off until the last few days, where a driving force inside me kicks it into high gear and makes my ideas come to life. In a way, it's like my body knows how long the minimum amount of time is for me to create that project and waits to the very last second to light that fire under my ass. Not a very efficient strategy, I know. Yet, when I have an idea of my own with no timetable, I either start working on it that very moment I have the idea or ruminate with that thought, provoking it, playing with all of its insignificant loose ends in my mind for months. Either way, when the thought begins to come into fruition, I become completely entranced in the idea, in the process. So much to the point where nothing else in my life will matter. I will forget about eating food, drinking water, using the restroom, and going outside, to say the least. So entranced in my project. Naturally, I become curious as to know if this type of hyper-concentrated procrastination affects other artists, or if I'm just merely an anomaly of an artist, a glitch in the matrix. This is what led me to dive deep into the exploration of how different artists approach the same creative process in different ways. I found that nature stimulates me to create meaningful art, along with long periods of solitude, being with friends, traveling, and deep self-exploration. Vincent van Gogh, the legendary painter and lifelong artist, was often known for taking long periods of time to himself in the Dutch countryside, enthralled at the opportunity to live amongst the peasants he painted and to have time to himself. Vincent van Gogh himself was a big believer of daily work and has been quoted writing to his brother Theo, saying, "Painting is just as good a profession by which to earn a living as, for example, a smith or being a doctor. An artist, in any case, is the exact opposite of someone living a life of leisure. And as I said, if one wants to draw a parallel, then either a smith or a doctor corresponds more closely." Van Gogh's commitment toward meaningful daily practice has transcended many generations, as artists like Julia Cameron, an author, poet, and playwright, have credited their life's work to daily methods and principles. In her case, morning pages, writing whatever comes to her mind, flushing the gates of ideas and creativity every morning, is an integral part of her creative process. As she would say, art is not about thinking something up, it is the opposite, getting something down. Popular contemporary filmmaker Casey Neistat has also claimed how his enthusiasm and adherence to daily work is a driving proponent toward his success as a video creator. Yet, not all artists, even in the same medium, are alike. Renowned Hollywood director Quentin Tarantino, for example, often chooses to focus his efforts on one single project at a time. His other ideas and possible creations, in his own words, stay incubating in his head for up to 10, even 20 years until they finally come into fruition. Arguably one of the best rappers alive today, Jeremiah Cole, also known as J. Cole, is a strong proponent to Julia Cameron's Morning Pages. He also emphasizes his devotion to daily meditation in his life and embraces the idea of how life is all about the evolution. In the end, the only real change toward creating better art and becoming a better artist is within yourself. You must make the conscious decision to improve your life and devote yourself to studying the greats before you. Once you have made that decision, you are now free to apply these tactics and principles to your own life at your own will. From what I've learned, regardless of the medium, most artists devote themselves to their craft on a daily basis and are mindful of their own well-being. Most importantly, they're mindful to their thoughts and aware of their emotions. In my opinion, the best life is one of creation and pure open-mindedness. My hope is that my Pecha was able to aid you along your journey as an artist and spark the wonder and curiosity already inside you, striving for you to become the greatest version of yourself. それから先生のせいかもしれないけど、みんな本当にペチャクチャって言えないの？ペチャクチャを聞くたびに本当に耳が痛くなるんですけど。ごめん、言わなきゃいけなかった。Thank you very much for listening to my Pecha. I appreciate you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Follow my work if you enjoyed it at Tommy Today on YouTube.